So I think every college does like a giving day or like a day of giving. So Western Michigan University's day of giving is Wednesday, the 25th. I don't know if that's a special date. I should look that up. Anyway, I know being in my 40s and being an alum, I get, communications, trying to raise money. And I think sometimes people may not like they don't receive those as much because they may not be kind of like a personal connection. It was a goal of mine to start a scholarship.
Yeah.
Not a full ride. Hey, maybe if things go really well, this can be a full ride scholarship, but it's a scholarship. And when I was in Michigan recently, I met with the Alumni Association and the College of Education, and they said, well, we can like generate a link. And on the day of giving, people could like give to your scholarship to help fund the scholarship versus making a donation to athletics or the general university fund or whatever, which super nice if people do that. So they gave me this link and I was like, well, cool, I'll do a video. And so that's what we're doing right now, is just talking about why someone might donate, what it's for, who it's about. And you're the man. So it was a lot, I thought, more effective to talk to you about it than to just talk to the screen about it and hope for the best.
Digging the shirt, by the way, the Western Michigan
Thank you.
gear.
Yeah.
Rocking the gear.
It's yeah, man. Yeah, it's every shirt I have at this point is either Wrexham, Detroit Lions, or Western Michigan.
There you go. Okay. Obviously, you and I have talked a lot about Western Michigan over the years. What has Western Michigan meant to you? Like, why is this scholarship so important to you?
I can't really explain it except to say that when I took a tour at Western Michigan University when I was in high school, like I'd been to other campuses and stuff, but it was like home. Like I just felt it as soon as I got there. Like I knew this place was going to be home. And from day one on campus, I love that place. And it's probably obnoxious to people in my friend circles how much I love and talk about Western Michigan, but it was something important to me too, to help support the university as any way I can. I mean, it's not like I can just make a bunch of donations all the time, but I put a plan together and decided that a scholarship to support students going through their last semester of education for teaching would be what I want to do, because those kids, they're in their 20s. They're not kids. Those young adults, they're paying full-time tuition to work a full-time job. How the hell are you supposed to make ends meet? Like I remember doing it. And I would not have been able to do it without my parents. So that's what I wanted to do. That's what I thought would be a good use for that scholarship.
So, obviously the education program must be a good program there. And so is that something that meant a lot to you? And as far as becoming a teacher, is there a lot of things that you take from when you're at Western Michigan into the classroom and things that you remembered from back then that made you a better teacher?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know like where Western Michigan's education college ranks against anyone else's, but I know it's one of the biggest in the state. It's super close knit. I miss being a teacher because of going through Western Michigan's program. Like I knew I wanted to be a teacher. They prepared me very, very well. I loved the classes. I loved the connections. And yeah, even though I guess I kind of teach to some extent, right? When you and I are on like the insurance speaking circuit, like there's a lot of teaching and I feel like I'm in the classroom sometimes, maybe a really big classroom with slightly older people in it, but I love it. So yeah, it prepared me for that. And it prepared me for what I'm doing now, even though I'm not in the classroom. So I love it.
Who was your favorite teacher at Western Michigan? And like, do you have like certain stories that stand out to you about that teacher and why that teacher meant so much to you when you were there? Or professor, I should say.
Shame on me. I can remember some classes that I loved, but I cannot remember the names of any of the professors. So shame on me, but I do know, and I can remember some very specific things. I remember my public speaking class, which was a requirement. If you're going to be a teacher, you have to take public speaking, right? Like teaching would be pretty rough if you can't speak in front of groups of people. And I got to give a persuasive speech. That was like a midterm project, maybe. I gave a speech about how if pairs figure skating is an Olympic sport, then pro wrestling should be an Olympic sport. Like,
awesome.
It was great. I had video clips that I wove into my, it was almost like a presentation, right? So yeah, man, like I remember those. I remember learning about all the national parks and monuments. I remember my ed, I don't know if it was ed 301 or whatever, where I did like a pre-internship where I had to go to a junior high school 2 or 3 days a week and teach. And I learned in that moment that I wanted to be a teacher, but I damn sure didn't want to be a junior high teacher. So bless those people and their funny smelling classrooms.
Well, you've been obviously away from the school for several years now, but obviously it's still a school that means a lot to you. And I know you just went recently and watched them win a championship in hockey, and you're still involved in the Alumni Association. Why do you stay involved in the Alumni Association? Why is the school still so important to you?
My parents taught me that being involved is really important. Doing things you don't have to do are really important, and not just for success, but they do lead to a lot of success. And so that was instilled in me growing up. I remember being part of the junior honor society in junior high, and then the honor society, and all these things that I didn't have to do. And sometimes I went kicking and screaming and I didn't want to do it, but I just did it because I knew my parents were going to make me do it anyway. And I'm so glad that they did, because it opened so many doors throughout high school and college and now beyond. I mean, you and I both sit in on like councils and things that we don't have to do, but we do them because we know they're important. So I think it's a continuation of that. I was in student organizations at Western Michigan, and like, I don't want to let it go. I mean, I'm not a student there anymore, but going back for homecoming, going back for an alumni council meeting, there have been alumni events where they want our feedback, and I've gone back for those things, and I just love it. Like it's like paying back for all the cool stuff and opportunities that presented themselves. And it's just also because I love it. So any excuse I can have to go to Kalamazoo and be on campus, like, say less, I'll be there.
Say less. Love it. What about, okay, you said you were going to do this scholarship in one of your parents' name, your mom's name or something like
so
that?
So it's in both my parents' name.
Okay.
So it's called the Jim and Pat Nelson Homestretch Scholarship.
And what kind of legacy does that mean to you to have your parents' names attached to that and not the Casey Nelson Scholarship?
Yeah, I think the thing that's most important to me about it, and it was hard at first, like Madison, who's the Alumni Association rep I worked with, like we went round and round and round. She said, you have to name it. I'm like, what do I name this thing? And then it all just like clicked. I'm like, I was so lucky, am so lucky that both my parents are really great people. I wasn't expecting this. It would have been really hard to do the things I was able to do without them. I want to leave something with their name on.
Bro, you're going to make me start crying.
I did not think that was coming. I love it. I love Western Michigan. I love Kalamazoo. I love my parents. I do what I do. We're going to have to redo this. I do what I do, and I feel like a hybrid of them, which makes perfect sense, right? Duh, like your parents, you get half from one and half from the other. But like my mom was a teacher for 26 years or 28 years, I think. My dad worked in IT for the state of Michigan before IT, like I don't even know what the hell it was called back then. It was back in the days where like a computer took up like a whole room and you put a disk in on one end and you had to like go to the other end of the room to get it out. I don't even know what they were doing, what they were doing back then. You know, now I'm like, I've been a teacher, I've been in insurance, I've been in tech, and now it's like just like a mesh of all of them. And so I'm really excited, and they don't know about it yet.
Dude, that's going to be even more of an emotional thing when you surprise them with that they're going to have this scholarship in their name. Are they both alum of Western Michigan, or one of them, or
no,
just something you wanted to do for them?
Yeah, neither of them. I mean, they spent time there, clearly because I was there, and they sent a lot of money there. No, my mom is a graduate of U of M, University of Michigan, and my dad's a graduate of Michigan State. I mean, that's a big rivalry in Michigan, but like they didn't raise me, you know, with like universal fandom. When it came time to pick, Western was for me. It's just, no, they don't have any ties to it, but now they do.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
They're doing.
Okay, think about this as we talk through this, and you imagine the person that gets this scholarship, the kid, 20-year-old, whatever, like the person who gets this scholarship, to know that you're helping them in that time. What does that mean to you? Like, if you think about it, like if someone's going to be able to afford their college because of a scholarship that you're putting together in your parents' names.
Yeah, and I don't want to think about how hard it must be for those students going through that, because I remember it, and I'm sure it's probably harder now. Everything's more expensive and just life changes. But like, yeah, I think of, and I hope that if there's a student who's been busting their ass and they want to finish up, but they look at their balance sheet or their budget and they're like, I don't know how I'm going to make this work. Maybe I need to take a semester off, or maybe I need to, and if this is available to them and they're like, $1,500 is going to like be the difference between me finishing this now or like postponing it, or even maybe it's not that dramatic. Maybe it's somebody who's like, I want to put everything I have into this semester And this makes it so maybe they don't have to work a full-time job after teaching, or maybe, it can just lessen that stress and they can focus on just being a good teacher. That could be the difference between them like going into teaching and not. Or it could be the difference of, I remember being done with that internship, and the last thing I wanted to do was be in the classroom because you're just like spent. And I was so lucky that I got to be a grad assistant for a year and a half. When they were like, "You want to be a college kid for another year and a half?" Sign me up. But like, if I'd have to go straight into teaching, that could have been really hard. And to just multiply the amount of stress on somebody who's going through that by also saying, like, good luck paying rent, good luck buying gas, good luck all these things, this could make a huge difference. And that's my goal for it, is to take, right now, it's just 2 students a year. I think, hey, if this goes well or down the road, I want to fund it so it can do more or help more students each semester. But every little bit counts. And it would have made a huge difference for me if my parents hadn't been helping me, I would have desperately needed this.
All right, let me make you really old. Think about this. I think this is a significant year for you to start doing this. Okay, you graduated 2005, 21 years ago. Those kids that are getting the scholarship were being born the year you graduated. And you think about 21 years later, those kids are being born, are now going to have an opportunity to get a scholarship from someone that graduated the year they were born. How crazy is that? And it's significant. 21 years later, I just think that's wild. I don't know if you were thinking about that in 2005. Like, no. Maybe one day a kid being born today will get a scholarship from me and my dumbass that graduated from Northwestern. But think about that, 21 years later. Is that not weird? Have you thought about that at all?
No, I hadn't. I went back for homecoming the last 2 years. So I knew it had been 20 years last year when I was there, and I kind of did the math and I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that is wild. That's wild to think about that. No, I could have never considered that. Like when I was in Kalamazoo and like looking for a job and trying to figure out what I wanted to do or where I wanted to do it. No, man, that's crazy. That's like a DeLorean right there. Like that's a trip to think about. So that's super cool to think about. But yeah, absolutely. And that's a great observation, because some graduating senior now, maybe they see this and they think about it, or maybe someone gets this scholarship and then they think about, hey, how can I pay it forward down the road? And that's really what it's about. I'm really happy that this came to be. I appreciate that Madison at the Alumni Association did not drop me as things happened in my life that delayed this a couple years more than I wanted it to. So it's just, I'm super excited. And I really appreciate you helping me record this, because this would have been, I did try once by myself and it just did not go very well. So this is so much better. And I appreciate you, Heath.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
You want to do nice things for the people that have been important in your life. And
100%.
It's not always easy to do things in a public way. So this is an honor to me. And I think, establishing this scholarship in my parents' name and opening this up and putting it out there for people that, I hope alumni see this, that I was friends with, that played intramural sports or had classes or whatever, that had some connection to me. I hope that they see it, and I hope that they're willing to throw a little bit of money at it. And I'm not asking. I'm not begging. Like it's if you can. And I know things are hard for a lot of people. I'm not going to act like this is like easy street for anybody. But if you have $20 or whatever. And in fact, somebody gave me a great idea a couple of years ago. They said on your university's giving day, they encourage you to donate an amount equal to the year that you graduated. So I would donate $20.05, right? Because I graduated 2005. So then that like donation almost has like a different meaning. So I'm really excited about it. I hope if somebody can, and they will, I'd appreciate it. It's going to keep growing regardless. Like I've got a plan to do that. And I am honored if anybody does decide to put some of their hard-earned money in that. It'll go to a student that needs it, and it'll make a big difference.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude. Buddy. Thanks, buddy. You mean a lot. I appreciate that you would do this. It wasn't your school. You're an honor, as far as I'm concerned, you're an honorary Bronco, brother.
Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome. Love it.
All right, man.
All right, big dog.
I know you got work to do.
Dude, let me know what I can do anything for you.
I will. Appreciate you. Love you, man.
Love you too, brother.